Hey y'all, welcome to Wild Blue. So we're gonna get on into this week of all the crazy things going on out there. Let's check out our first sighting here. What appears to be some kind of UFO. Let's see what we got. This first one takes place in Austin, Texas, April 2023. This one's pretty strange looking. Looks kind of like a plastic bag or something flying in the sky. Can't make too much out of it. Does look pretty strange though. Looks like the aliens let their garbage out and now it's flowing through and has become its own UFO. Whatever this was apparently drew these people's attention to it. Doesn't look like your traditional drone that you might get at Walmart. Doesn't look like anything that I'm familiar with. Looks like a flying, darkened, burnt peanut. So anyway, that's it with that one. Let's move on to the next one here. Alright, this next one here's over Hangzhou, China from April 2023. This one's giving off like a light show. This one's pretty fancy looking. It's got all sorts of beams of light coming down from it, but it's not moving anywhere, just kind of sitting there. You got a couple others off to the side kind of flying around. They're moving, but the big one there, the long cigar-shaped one, ain't doing nothing. It's just sitting there, shining those lights all over the place like a spotlight. Wonder how many people are being abducted in that beam of light there. It's interesting how it shrinks down into one beam and then separates into some larger beams. Looks like it's right out of a movie. Definitely a cool UFO sighting there. Look at that one flying around. It's like orbiting whatever this larger fireball is off to the side. Very interesting here. So let's check out this next one here. Now this one's pretty interesting too. This one's been going all over the social medias and all the networks and the internets. And this one's pretty strange. Let's take a look at it. So what you see here, this guy's flying his plane here, propeller plane, and then he sees this object come in out of nowhere. Here it comes. You watch for it. Look, there it goes. And you pause it right there. You can see what appears to be your traditional UFO shaped craft. Got that disc shape to it. It's kind of flying on its belly. People say this is how that guy Bob Lazar described these UFOs working back in the 80s. But it goes on real quick. Can't make too much out of it. It's there and then it's gone. It looks kind of like that peanut from the last one. When you fly and see an alien. I don't know, that's kind of not giving me a lot of hope that this guy's really a pilot. That doesn't seem like something a pilot would write. But anyway, there's a video for you. Now, I'm not sure where this one was filmed. All I know is it was fairly recently filmed. Yep, it's something that's very new out there. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one here. Now, this is a ghost sighting here. Let's take a look at it, see what we got. Well, they're using some software to kind of analyze a shape. Uses some algorithms to determine certain shapes that may end up resembling some sort of figure. There's a lot of hocus pocus maybe going on here, but it does seem like it can be kind of useful in determining if there's any sort of humanoid shaped spiritual figures floating around just out of your eyesight that these cameras maybe can pick up in this software. But I'm just seeing a bunch of random shapes here. We'll see if it turns into anything. Maybe it could be the ghost of a dog or some kind of small mammal like a rabbit. Maybe a cat or something like that. Anyway, it just keeps on doing this. And that's really all there is to it. You know, it just makes these shapes. This one kind of looks like a little person making some arm movements there, but you know, that's really all you can make out of it. Let's move on to the next one here. This one's called Ghost Smoke Spirit Paranormal, Please Explain. Now this one doesn't have any sort of description on where it is. Looks like someone's recording a security camera from a computer screen. Let's play that again. Here it goes. You see this brown sort of smudge come across the screen. And you know what? It's probably just some kind of insect that's hanging out here, enjoying his time walking on this camera. Bugs like to do that. They don't care too much what they're walking on or where they're walking because they don't have any sort of concept of what these kind of things are. They don't know these security cameras are trying to actually capture some sort of event going on that may be useful to the owner. They're just walking around minding their own business and then they get mistaken for a ghost. So that's all there is with that one. Let's move on to the next one here. It's another ghost sighting here. Doesn't give any sort of description on where it is or when it happened. You got a dog running around. Got a car here, another security camera video. At least this one's not being filmed from a screen on a separate device. And then we got this orb looking thing. It's kind of fluttering on through there. It's moving pretty quick. I don't know if it scared the dog. Dog seems to be coming back now, so maybe that ain't the case. Could just be like a firefly or some sort of bioluminescent insect flying around. I think it'd be jumping to conclusions to say this is some kind of ghost or spiritual entity. Let's see if it comes back. Yep, there it is, coming back on down. Moving in sort of the same direction as it came from. And then it shoots off like. Is it gone? I think it may be. Yep, that's the end of the video. Couldn't make anything out. Does appear to be some sort of light creature. Maybe it is some kind of ghost. Could be the reflection of the infrared from this camera off whatever this thing is. Maybe it has some sort of reflective surface to it. It is a little bit small to be an orb ghost. Usually those appear to be just a little bit bigger than that. And they move a little bit more intelligently than what that thing was doing. Just kind of zipping around haphazardly through the screen. Alright, we'll move on to the next one here. Alright, next up we got a Bigfoot sighting. Alright, so this next clip comes from the show Finding Bigfoot on the Animal Planet. Bigfoot is an animal, so you'd expect to find him on an animal planet. And that's why he's on this show here. At least they think they've found him. We're going to watch this clip here and see if there's anything to this.
What you see it walking?
So they've got some sort of thermal imaging camera. Watch it from far away. Let's see what it is. They see something maybe walking up the hill there. But you know, you can't make anything out of it. This is worse than a blob squatch. It doesn't have a shape or anything to it.
You see it?
Yeah. Could be any sort of large mammal in this forest. No? I don't think it's any sort of conclusive evidence of a Sasquatch. You know, every time these guys come on these shows, they claim to find some sort of creature. You can't go one episode without them seeing some sort of creature. Whether it be a Sasquatch or something that resembles a Sasquatch, some other cryptid. And you know what? Some of them are just so out there and extravagant that you just can't believe it. It's just not possible for it to be true. It's just so over the top that there's no way that it could be real. Has to be faked. Has to be there to get the viewership to continue the show. And that's all there is to it. We got another sighting here. Sasquatch filmed from 2022 in Tennessee. Let's see what we got. Here he is peeking around a tree. You know, that's typical Sasquatch, classic behavior of him. Leaning back and forth, kind of swaying there, looking around a tree. He's a big guy too, you know. Look at his arms moving like that. Now it doesn't have the sort of bulkiness and clunkiness you'd have for a guy in a costume. This one looks pretty legitimate, at least from my vantage point sitting here. There he is on the tree line, you know. I like that one. That one's pretty cool. You know, makes you go, what in the world is that? This next one takes place in Mendocino County in California. It's way up in the northwest. Now this one ain't a Sasquatch sighting, but purports to claim this is where many Sasquatch sightings get mistaken from. So let's listen to what this is. We got a couple of raccoons up there, it looks like. And they're making some little sounds up there, little raccoon sounds. But you know, I don't think I'd mistake that for a Sasquatch. They are a little bit monkey-like, but they're a little bit too small to be something as large as a Sasquatch. You know, Sasquatch have been known to make sounds generating infrasound at a very low decibel levels. Now these are some very deep sounds, stuff that makes the ground reverberate underneath you. It's some crazy stuff. Now it ain't no little raccoons chirping up in a tree like birds. Now I've heard Bigfoots mimic owls in some cases, and you know, they have probably a wide vocal range just as people do. I'd imagine their vocal cords are a little bit more advanced than your typical ape. But yeah, that's about all there is to this video. It ain't no Squatch sighting. It ain't no disproving a Squatch sighting either. It's just an opinion. So anyway, we're gonna close this video out. Y'all got anything y'all like to share here on Wild Blue? Send it to wildbluetvstories@gmail.com. And that includes any sort of video footage, photographs, or stories that you want featured here on the show. Check out our website and check out our Facebook page. Like and subscribe. And with that said, Wild Blue out.